Hi Year 10, I hope everything's all right. I'm hoping that all of you are accessing this through Microsoft Teams and you've joined the class. As you can see, I've put the classes together, so any chat or questions that you might have, it means that all of set 1 and set 2 can answer the questions and I can get back to you, and also I'll be monitoring set 1 as well there. Okay, we're starting another topic to do with probability, and you may have come across a little bit of this before, but I think it'll mostly be new. So I'll go through what I think would be important. I'll also add another video to sort of help clarify anything that you're still not sure of, and then you can have a go at some of the questions. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Venn diagrams. Now, you would have certainly done Venn diagrams in primary school, but not using them to help you answer probability questions. Okay, right. Now, we're also talking about the notation, about how each of the symbols means something and what things mean. So let's, what would help is if you can print off this 2 pages of notes, okay, and work through them together. Okay, if you haven't got a printer, then you might have to go through and just write any notes that are going to helpful in your book. Okay, right, so the first thing I've just cut out little bits I think are important. So the curly brackets here show the set of values of the data that you would be using. Okay, and E means the element of. So for example, if I've got the set of values is the positive numbers that are less than 10, okay, and B is prime numbers less than 10. Okay, so if I was to do this one, so all the numbers that would simply be in set, this one would be A, would be, not too good at the curly brackets here, okay, 2, 4, 6 and 8. Okay, and in B we wanted to know all the numbers that were prime that less than 10, so that would be 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, right, now true or false for each statement. Is 6 an element of A? Well, yes, so that's true. Is 1 an element of B? No, so that's false. And is 5 an element of B? True. Okay, so we now know hopefully what the curly brackets mean and what an element means. So an element means a number in a particular set. Okay, now the next bit. So we're going to look at these. These are really important and things that I would expect you to perhaps make sure they're definitely in your book. So either cut this out and stick it in your book or draw these ones in your book. So this one here, A, and it's not an N, but it's, you know, we say it's this sort of shape here. Okay, this means the intersection of A and B. So when you see this, it's got to be and, okay. So I think of the sort of N in the middle of and there, so in A and B, so it's the middle section, okay? So this means the intersection. A, U, B, okay? And again, it's not got a flick on or anything, it's just this sign here, means A union B, so everything that's in A or B, okay? So union is or, and intersection is and, a bit like the and or we talked about last week with our tree diagrams. Okay, A dash means not in A, so anything that is not within the set of A. Okay, and this curly line here means the universal set, so all elements being considered. So this is some of the important notation. Now, we'll be using this notation as we go and answer some of these questions. Right, I'm going to work through some examples together, okay, and you can see how they would work out. Okay, right, keep everything lined up. Right, so we've got a Venn diagram for 2 groups. We've got in group X, we've got our prime numbers, and in group Y, we've got our multiples of 2. Okay, and we know that the whole set, okay, the universal set, is when a 12-sided dice is rolled and we multiply it. Okay, so work out, so we look at all our possibilities, okay, and we've got 12. Now, we want to work out, remember we've said this before, P and the event. So how many of them are in X? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the probability of being in X would be 5 out of 12. because there are 5 numbers out of a possible 12. Don't forget, if they're outside either of them, they're in neither of the groups. Okay, B, probability of it being in Y will be all of these, so that's 6 out of 12. The probability of being in X and Y, so that's the bit in the middle, isn't it? Okay, so it'd be this one, so that's 1 in 12. Okay, the next one, in X or Y, so in the union of X and Y, so in all of these, okay, so that will be 10 out of 12. Not in X, so these are in X, so the ones not in X are these ones here, so that would be 7 out of 12. The ones that are not in Y, so these ones are in Y, so these ones are not in Y, okay, so 6 out of 12. Okay, then getting a little bit harder. So it's in X and not in Y. So it can be in X and it's not allowed to be in Y, so we can't include this one. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in 12. So this is when it gets a little bit harder, so perhaps really make notes of there. So it's in X and it's not in Y. And then the last one, it's not in X or, okay, it's in Y. So that will be this one, so it's not allowed to be in X or it's allowed to be in Y. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, because it's allowed to be in Y, so that will be 8 out of 12. Okay, right, so let's go on to the next ones. Okay, so Charlie's asking 30 students in his class if they've passed English and maths. So we need to construct the Venn diagram for this. Okay, draw circles as best as I can. Okay, so I'm going to put my little curly symbol in here, okay, to show that I've got the whole set. Now, we know that there's 30 altogether. We're told that 21 pass their English and maths, so 21 are going to go in the middle. 2 of them passed neither, so I'm going to put 2 here. Okay, I forgot to label them English and maths. Okay, 25 passed their maths test, so that means I've already got 21 in the middle, so I needed 4 more here. Okay, and then therefore there would be, I know all of the numbers need to add up to 30, so I'm going to have 3 here. So I've drawn the Venn diagram to show all the data. Now I want to know what's the probability of it being E, so that's these here, so that would be 24 out of 30. The probability of being English and maths will be this middle bit here, 21 out of 30. The probability of English or maths, that would be 28 out of 30. Okay, and finally, the probability of not English and maths. So not English and maths. So these are not in English, but that one's in maths, so that would be 4 out of 30. Okay, so we've answered that question there. Okay, excuse me. Right, other bits of notation that might help you is sometimes that you might have a Venn diagram with 3 groups. Okay, so again here, this one would mean the intersection of A, B and C, so it's got to be in A and it's got to be in B and it's got to be in C. Here this would mean A or B or C. And this one here, which is kind of important, this means the probability of A and B given that it's in B. So instead of being out of the whole group, it would be just out of what was in B in the start bit. Okay, we'll have a go at that when we have a look at our next example. Right, so this time we've got asking people about what ice cream that they want. So how many people had all three flavours? So that's the bit in the middle then, so that'll be 7. And how many people chose ice cream? So we have to add up all the numbers together, and that would be 40. Okay. Now we want to know what's the probability. Remember, so this will be a fraction. The probability of being chocolate, strawberry and vanilla, so all 3 would be 7 out of a possible 40. Okay, the next one, the probability of strawberry and vanilla. So strawberry and vanilla would be these ones here, the 7 and the 4. Okay, so that will be 11 out of 40. And then finally, probability of strawberry and vanilla out of the ones that like strawberry. Well, we know that there's 11 that like strawberry and vanilla out of the amount that liked strawberry, which was 7 and 4, and the 2, which was 13. So that line there means that it will change the denominator. Okay, so that will be out of 13. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So like I say, I'll put another video up for you to have a look at if you need a little bit more clarity, and then I want you to have a go at the questions that I've put the link onto, and then you can mark them yourselves. Okay, good luck. Bye bye.